Ah yes, the 1950s, a time filled with inspiration, innovation, and creation. And of course, traffic, but that's beside the point. The 50s was an era of ingenuity, due almost entirely because of advances made during the Second World War. With a stable workforce of both men and women working after the war, great leaps were made, and many of today's most popular and genius inventions came from this time. The American dream was sculpted by these items, one of which being the famous color television. But as many have asked about a certain chicken and egg, what came first? Who created the color TV, and how did it come about? The father of the television is most often associated with the name of John Logie Baird, an inventor hailing from Scotland. Baird fathered not only the first working television, but also one of the first iterations of color by using a nip-cow disc. This disc, when spun quickly over three primary colors, red, green, and blue, created a conceivable blend of color, usually of a green shade. Using this technology combined with his experience from creating his mechanical television, Baird was able to create a technically functional color television, although it would not be soon before the real battle for living color would arise. The main fight for color was between CBS, the Columbia Broadcasting System, and RCA, the Radio Corporation of America. Just years prior, they were fighting to become the industry standard for black and white television, but now the squabble has shifted to color. The FCC, or the Federal Communications Commission, was the one to decide who would become the standard. After much publicity, the CBS sequential color system would be chosen as the industry standard for color. CBS had won the battle for color. That was until the CBS metaphorically dropped the ball with their release of the Columbia 12cc2. But more on that in a second. Let's go back to the present. CBS had just won over the FCC and was selected to be the standard for sequential color television. This was a massive success, but many citizens did not have access to a color receiver, a device able to actually play teleprograms in color. To try to mitigate this problem, CBS would manufacture and release its own television capable of receiving color, the Columbia 12cc2. 200 units were manufactured, retailing at a price of about $500, $5,000 in today's currency, but only 100 sold, marking the Columbia 12cc2 and CBS's sequential color system as a massive gimmick and not worth buying. CBS, being embarrassed by this whole ordeal, revoked their color system as the FCC standard. Just 4 months after the CBS system was rescinded, the RCA submitted a new color system to the FCC on July 22, 1953. On December 17th of the same year, it was adopted unanimously by members of the FCC. But what was this new system, you may wonder? It was RCA's new electronic color system. It was better known as the single-tube system, as majority of the mechanics and color-making process resided in something resembling a test tube. It had much better color quality when compared to any sequential color system, as unlike the sequential color system, colors did not shift as you moved around the television. Instead, all colors remained the same no matter how they were viewed. The electronic color system also separated luminance from chrominance, something that is still done today in modern televisions to help the vibrancy of color in teleprograms. Finally, after years of battle, the RCA had won the battle for color. Although the television industry was booming, a great part of the population didn't have faith in the idea of color television. Many people were skeptical of the cost when compared to the final product, just like the dilemma with the Columbia 12cc2. David Sarnoff, CEO and inventor of RCA's single-tube system, even admits to spending upwards of $170 million, worth over $1.95 billion today, when RCA was developing and pioneering the electric color television scene. When given an example like this, the critic's thinking could be justified if it wasn't for how well the technology has developed since. Without RCA spending the initial millions, now equivalent to billions, it would have been impossible to advance something as complex as color television in such a short time. All of these so-called critics would be shivering in their timbers if they saw what color television would become. Not even a single month after the RCA became the color standard, as dubbed by the FCC, the first full-color telecast was aired from coast to coast in America. The broadcast showed the Pasadena Tournament of Roses parade and was aired on NBC, a subsidiary of RCA and a very well-known cable channel today. The telecast aired on New Year's Day of 1954 across 21 separate stations, marking a huge leap for the future of color television. The color added new sparkle and buoyancy according to RCA. After the Tournament of Roses parade aired, new technology began to revolutionize the television, with larger screens and higher resolutions being created only a mere couple years after the parade. By 1972, the color television industry started to outsell all black and white televisions. Take that, you color critics! Color is expressed in every medium, no matter the challenges we face to get it. John Logie Baird and David Sarnoff both faced unimaginable barriers to accomplish this feat, but they did it, to help the world see farther than they have ever seen, without sparing any vivacity. Their contributions to color television has completely changed the course of how we view media. Look around your person. I'm sure you see screens surrounding you, perhaps in your very own home or school building. In fact, you are watching this on a device that has stemmed from an invention of the 1950s, a color television. The footprint of the color television reaches far greater lengths than just America, but even the whole world. It would be a miracle in these times to find even a single person who watches anything on a black and white television system. All new devices from the 1950s onward have, and will, strive to create a more vivid color experience for the user, a more lifelike experience. No matter how far today's tech goes, just remember one thing, that life is better in color.